We are back with the LT4 swapped K10. Last episode you saw us start this thing for the first time. In this episode, we're gonna be doing some finalization to get this thing out on the road. So make sure you guys stay tuned.
All right, the next step on the K10 is building an exhaust system. So right here I mounted up our two flanges on either side, the ends of our manifold, and we are going to do a Y into a single exhaust. So these are 2.5 inch each. I'm gonna run this one down around the bell housing, this one coming down. They're gonna Y somewhere in this area, and then shoot back with a 3-inch pipe over our transmission mount, probably into the middle here over our suspension, and then go to a muffler and then dump straight down at the back. Once we get to this run, it's pretty straightforward, but we got to build our Y section first. So over here on our workbench, instead of having to make a Y from scratch, and then here we have a whole bunch of material to use for our Y for designing all of our bends and our muffler. So we also got a couple removable clamps here, so that way we could have some quick disconnects in the system where we need them. So first step, we're going to start going off of our flanges, off the headers. Alright, so we got a good start here. I just tacked my piece of pipe. I cut pretty much about a 90 off here and measured my distance from here to here so it'll clear the bell housing. So this is looking pretty good. The only consideration is sort of jogging up a little bit. So I put this line here to cut back, so that way we could kind of keep it under the bell housing as it transitions to a straight piece out of this piece right here. So I'm going to take this back off, cut that back, then get my angle right, and then plan out our intersection where they're going to mate together. We're going to start making our Y here. I got my two pieces cut. They fit together like this, and then they'll get welded. Each one will go to each side header. And then in order to get a 3-inch transition, when these are together, they'll slip in like this, and then the Y will get cut back to that point. Then we're going to cut slits in the 3-inch pipe, hammer it on the flat sides, and then we can just weld the circumference around the 3-inch pipe. Cut it off wherever, and that'll be our transition from the 2.5 to the 3, and making our transition from 2 pipes into a single pipe exhaust. Okay, so I got all of my joints tacked on. So we got the flange tacked up here. This piece is tacked. I went ahead, made some homemade pie cuts to make a transition piece. So it comes from here, soups over, hits our Y over on this side. Now that this is all fitted and in place, I got the welder over here. I'm gonna go ahead and start tacking a whole bunch of places, then start removing tape, putting in more tacks, and then trying to do some final welding while it's actually held here between the two flanges. That way when I take it off the vehicle and finish the welds I can't get to, it's not gonna move around and it'll still line up off the headers. We got the exhaust all mounted in, final welded up to our first V-band here. So I'm gonna use this transition piece to hop over the transmission brace cross member here and get into this section so we could run our straight pipe all the way back. So I'm gonna hold this up here, see exactly where I need to cut this angle, and then we'll be welding a mating V-band to that side. It'll hook up right to here, and then our piece will be able to jog on over. So off of our straight 3-inch piece here, off the V-band, we're gonna come up with another piece of tube. I'm actually gonna cut one that's a little bit longer because I want it to come to about here. This is a piece of scrap, just so I can see what's going on. We actually already have a hanger up here too, which is kind of convenient. You might be able to use it. So from here, there's gonna be a transition piece that's gonna kind of do an S. It'll go up and then it'll curve out back to the back, straighten out again up in this area, run our link arm here, and then keep going straight and then dump out straight out the back. So let's cut our piece here, get it tacked on to our straight, and then we'll start building our S after that. All right, so as you saw, the muffler is gonna be going into this section right here, and then out of the muffler will come a straight, and then we got a little turn down I found hanging around. Turn down, so you can see we got a straight shot from there into our muffler, straight again, and then cut right into here. That'll end our exhaust right at the back. So we'll just have to figure out where our hangers are gonna go and what they're gonna hang off of. We got pretty much our final exhaust is all just tacked together, but we're gonna come to the V-band, coming up over the drive shaft, and then after this cross member, we actually changed it a little bit and jogged it up again and back over. So we're actually gonna put the muffler right here in this spot, tucked up close to the bed, but with still some clearance, and then have the dump come out right out the tail of the muffler. Now that this is all tacked together and mocked up, I'm gonna bring it to the bench and do a bunch of my welding on there. Okay, we got our exhaust all mounted up with the muffler attached. We got this hanger on here, on the factory hanger system. So we are nice and stable, not going anywhere all the way through this hanger. So to catch the weight of the muffler, we're gonna use one more hanger. The last piece of the puzzle for our exhaust is our O2 sensor. So I got a little bung right here, I made a mark, confirmed with Andrew this would be a good location coming off of our driver's side header. So I'm going to mark this in the center right here. Okay, there we go. Bam. Use my center punch hole, drill a hole big enough for the O2 sensor, and then I weld it up. We're gonna fire this thing up for the first time since the exhaust is installed. Got the O2 sensor in. Oh, key is already on. We're in neutral. All right, so now that we got the exhaust on this thing, we can bring it out, give it the very first test drive, ripping on the street.
Finally on the first test drive of our LT4 swap 1984 K10. This truck has been gone through. We've got 1-ton Dana 60 axles, a off-road design, triangulated 4-link kit in the back, and parallel style 4-link in the front. Coilovers, crossover steering, a 4-wheel drive, our Resto Mod air unit here, blowing nice and cool.
Yeah, it's like 90 degrees out here in Florida.
Battery voltage. It's climbing over here. Oil pressure. Our low side fuel pressure right here. So this is what's feeding our high pressure pump.
Feels pretty sprightly.
Yes. 500 horsepower supercharged V8, my friend.
Yeah.
It could go fast. All right, we have completed another successful test drive with the LT4 swapped K10 pickup truck. It's been a long time coming to get this build to where it's at. There's only one thing left to do with the LT4 K10 is get this thing loaded up in a transport truck because we're getting it shipped off to its owner on the other side of the country, all the way in Washington.
Alright guys, well she's all loaded up on the trailer, so that is officially a wrap for our 1984 LT4 swapped K10. We did a bunch of work to this truck. If you guys didn't see all the action on the channel, make sure you go back, check it all out. We did a ton of stuff, man. This truck looks really sweet compared to when it came in. So you know what that means, one's out, we got more coming in. So don't worry guys, we got all kinds of awesome content for you guys coming up. We're gonna be hammering down on that Chevelle, hopefully getting that thing out to SEMA. We got a brand new C10 in the shop that we're hammering down on already. We also got a whole bunch of stuff coming out on the Continental. So get your seatbelts on, get your popcorn. Let's get ready to ride. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Toodaloo.